If it's meant for you, it will come. The power of detachment. Life rarely goes exactly as planned. We spend years trying to shape our lives into what we imagine they should be: perfect careers, ideal relationships, complete stability. Yet more often than not, reality challenges our expectations. The core of Buddhist wisdom reminds us that much of our suffering doesn't come from the events themselves, but from our resistance to them. Part 1. The illusion of control and the beauty of letting go. Detachment is often misunderstood as indifference, but in Buddhism, detachment is a powerful freedom, the ability to let go without resentment, to love without clinging, and to experience without owning. A famous Zen teaching says, "The cup is already broken." It means that everything we hold dear is already in the process of change. When we can accept this truth, we begin to cherish the present more deeply and release our fears about the future. We hold on so tightly to people, to ideas, to our identities. But true freedom begins where attachment ends. When we stop trying to control every outcome, we create space for life to unfold in ways we couldn't have imagined. Letting go doesn't mean giving up, it means giving in to the natural rhythm of existence. Buddhism teaches that impermanence is not something to fear, but something to honor. Like the river that flows without clinging to any drop of water, we too can flow with grace. What if we saw each loss as a passage, not a punishment? What if we trusted that everything that leaves our life is making room for something we are ready to receive? This isn't passive. Detachment is an act of courage. It is choosing to stay open-hearted even when things fall apart. It is a conscious shift from resistance to trust, from fear to presence. And it is the first step on the path to deep, unshakable peace. Part 2. Radical acceptance, meeting life as it is. After learning to let go, we must learn to accept. Radical acceptance is the willingness to face life as it is, not as we wish it to be. It requires us to drop the narratives, the judgments, and the stories we tell ourselves about how life should look. One of the greatest sources of human suffering is resistance. We resist change, pain, loss, and even joy when it doesn't come in the form we expected. But life isn't here to match our fantasies. Life is here to help us grow. When a student complained to his master, "I suffer because life is not how I want it to be," the master smiled and replied, "You suffer because you resist what is." The moment we stop arguing with reality, we find clarity. Like trying to stop a wave with our hands, resistance only exhausts us. But diving into the wave, choosing to move with it rather than against it, we experience life in a deeper, more honest way. Acceptance does not mean we resign or become passive. It means we open our eyes to the truth of the present moment. It means we take action from a place of clarity, not confusion. Acceptance is not weakness. It is strength rooted in awareness. Think of the archer who practices with great skill. He releases the arrow with precision, but he cannot control the wind, the target, or the shifting environment. He can either lament the unpredictable, or he can adapt. Life is much the same. Acceptance gives us the agility to move with grace instead of frustration. By learning to say, "This is what is," without collapsing or complaining, we gain back our power. Not the power to control everything, but the power to respond wisely. And perhaps most importantly, we learn to accept not just the world, but also ourselves as our flaws, our wounds, our stories. In that space of self-acceptance, we begin to heal. Part 3. trusting life's timing and the unseen wisdom. Trust is not built in certainty. It is born in the unknown. When we don't understand why things happen, trust becomes the bridge between our confusion and a greater purpose. In Buddhism, many parables speak to the mystery of fate. The story of the monk and the wild horse reminds us not to judge things as good or bad too quickly. What seems like a misfortune today may become a blessing tomorrow. We simply don't see the full picture. How often has something painful eventually guided us to something better? A lost job that led to a dream career. A breakup that opened the door to deep self-discovery. When we reflect on our past, we often see the logic of life in hindsight. Letting go of our need to label experiences gives life the room to surprise us. We stop forcing doors open and start noticing the windows that quietly invite us in. When we trust the timing of life, we live with less fear, less anxiety, and more presence. But trust doesn't mean inaction. Just like the farmer tends his field but cannot force the seed to grow overnight, we do our part and let life do the rest. It is a dance between effort and surrender. Another Buddhist tale speaks of a butterfly struggling to leave its cocoon. A man helps it, thinking he is doing good, but the butterfly's wings are too weak to fly. The struggle was necessary. Likewise, our challenges strengthen us for what lies ahead. We must stop trying to control every outcome and start listening more deeply to what life is trying to teach us. The universe does not take away what we need. It only removes what we are ready to release. What is meant for us cannot miss us, and what is not, no amount of holding on will keep. Part 4. Meditation and compassion. Anchoring ourselves in the present. Once we've embraced acceptance and trust, the next practice is to anchor ourselves in the present. Meditation is not escape, it is engagement at the deepest level. When we sit in silence, we meet ourselves fully. A Zen master once showed a student a glass of muddy water. He shook it, then let it sit. Eventually the dirt settled and the water cleared. "This is the mind," he said. "Be still, and it will find clarity." In meditation, we do not try to silence the mind. We simply stop following its every movement. We learn to witness our thoughts without being consumed. This witnessing creates space, and in that space, peace is born. There are many kinds of Buddhist meditation: breath awareness, loving, kindness, gratitude, and letting go. Even a few minutes a day can transform the way we live. Meditation calms the nervous system, strengthens the immune system, and cultivates emotional intelligence. More importantly, it teaches impermanence. Every thought arises and fades. Every feeling passes. We realize nothing is permanent, not even pain. And from that realization comes immense peace. Alongside meditation is compassion. True healing begins when we stop fighting ourselves. Too often, we are our own harshest critics. We carry guilt, regret, and judgment like heavy stones. Buddhism invites us to lay them down, to speak to ourselves with the same kindness we offer a dear friend. Loving kindness meditation begins with the phrase, "May I be happy, may I be well, may I live with peace." When we offer compassion to ourselves, we can finally extend it to others, not from obligation, but from overflow. Compassion is not weakness, it is strength softened by love. Part 5. Walking the path daily, integrating the teachings. Wisdom is not in knowing it, is in practicing. We can read, reflect, and understand, but without action, transformation remains incomplete. How do we live these teachings each day? 1. Practice detachment. When something good comes, receive it with joy. When something leaves, bless it with peace. Ask yourself, am I holding this because of love or because of fear? That question alone can set you free. 2. Embrace acceptance. Begin each day by asking, what can I accept today? A mistake, a delay, a moment of sadness. Acceptance is not giving up, is letting go of resistance so we can move forward with wisdom. 3. Trust the flow. When life doesn't go according to plan, remember the monk's horse. Don't rush to label events. Instead, ask, what is this teaching me? Let life unfold. Be the observer, not the controller. 4. Meditate daily. Even 5 minutes of breath awareness can center your day. You don't need a perfect setting, just a quiet moment with yourself. And if your mind wanders, return with compassion. 5. Let go of control. Do your best, but surrender the outcome. Like an archer, shoot your arrow, then let go. The target is not yours to guarantee. This mindset opens doors to peace and creative possibility. 6. Lead with compassion. Replace harsh self-talk with loving words. Offer forgiveness instead of resentment. Remember, anger is like holding hot coal. You burn yourself first. Choose to release it. Living this way doesn't mean becoming perfect. It means returning again and again to presence, trust, and kindness. The power of detachment lies not in leaving life, but in entering it more fully without fear, without clinging, with an open heart. And in the end you will see, what is meant for you will come, gently and surely, and what is not will fade away, just as gently. This is not loss, this is freedom,